So I came up with like 8 models that I was like, okay, this is definitely gonna work at Keele. I was excited about them. People who came to my office, they saw all these post-it notes and like charts on the board. And as I talk to more people, some will work, some won't, some I don't like, some I think that'll really work here. I personally don't like them, and I'm gonna still talk about them, but know that I said I didn't like them first of all. Welcome week, real self-explanatory. So do y'all understand what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just run through different schemes and kind of talk about how they're good and how they're bad really quickly. Try to do it in like 5 minutes. Welcome week, kind of self-explanatory. You have mentors, you train them either, probably if this is going to be just during welcome week, probably the day before, and then send them off and they help out during welcome week, answer students' questions, things like that. I don't like this because there's no contact before they come, and a lot of mentors, if you say, all right, you're a welcome week mentor, they won't feel the obligation of mentoring after welcome week, which we had a program like that in my undergrad, and I was in a group of 10 people, and after that welcome week, the mentor was like, oh, I can't help you. My job is done, So that's why I don't like this one. E-mentoring. E-mentoring is huge in the UK. I've never even heard, well, I've heard of it, but it's not, I don't think it's used that much in the US, and I could be wrong, but I feel like e-mentoring has become like that trend, and I know it's more to do with the widening participation. Every school has used it in the widening participation, and now they're bringing it on to campus to actually do peer mentoring. I don't like e-mentoring because Keele is small and it's really informal. If we was at a big campus where I have no chance of seeing Patrick, I'll be okay with him being my e-mentor. But if I see him in the Students Union and I'm like, right, I gotta write him an email to ask him a question, that's kind of silly. If I'm gonna see him, I should feel comfortable enough, and that's setting up barriers, and it's really setting up barriers by class. All right, you're a first year, the second years are here to help you, but don't go up and ask them questions. Write them an email. And I think the psychology department's e-mentoring is really successful, and students really like it and they really use it. The only criticism I heard is, in their training, they're told that don't meet with the students one-to-one because of confidentiality and safety. I talked to students yesterday, and students think about confidentiality very different than we do. If I email you and there's only, how many students are at Keele? Nine. If I email them, or if I yell it in the middle of the student union, everybody's going to know regardless. So for students, it's important to know that there's confidentiality issues, but at the same time, there's not this real fear of it from students, I don't think. All right. I think but e-mentoring is good. I think med students would like it the most. I think this will work the best for those busy schools because they just don't have time. I talked to a medical student yesterday named Simon, and he said, the forum that the second and third year started on Facebook is all he needs. I can ask my question, I get my question answered. He said I don't need all that emotional stuff. but that's the reality of it. If you want a quick answer, I think this will work, and I think it should be implemented in every scheme. It shouldn't be a standalone scheme. E-mentoring could be used to make that initial contact before students even get here, and during the busy times of the semester, it definitely should be used. But I don't think it should be the only thing used. Right. So these are two that I was like, man, these are my like brainchilds. I love them. I'm gonna take them back to the U.S., but I don't think they're gonna work here at Keele now that I've talked to some people. The black ops is, I was thinking, you know, student services is starting. They've been interviewing mentors for Welcome Week. I was like, oh man, that's perfect. If we had those same students that are just helping during Welcome Week, you know, work in the office all year, but we don't assign them to a mentor. If someone comes in and they're like, oh, I need a mentor, we'd be like, straight, yo, help them out. You know, we have like this special team of mentors that could be on a forum, that could have a website and check the website and things like that. That was my idea with that. I don't think that's a good idea. So don't do that, guys.
No. Hold on to that. That's something that has worked in the UK.
Yeah. I think something like this could really help international students on arrival. They could help first-year students who are off campus. You know, like those atypical situations. You know, a first year gets here and they don't have accommodation. They could go and help them out at their house. You know, this is how you can still get involved on campus, making sure that they fit back in. Or I don't know, what is it? If there's like a really mature student and there's all traditional students, you know, the black ops could go in and make sure that they help. Or am I sick? All right, downtime mentoring came from a conversation that I had with the international office at every single campus. International students really want to have help in during breaks and during exams. That's their trouble time, and I think exam time at Keele, because that's the only time I've been here, is really strange. I went to a school, it was 1,300 of us, and I know how stressful exam time can be, but we had things to do to get our mind off of it. Here, the only options they have is to go to the students' union or to sit in their room, and students yesterday confirmed this. You know, you can either party and drink, or you can sit in your room and study. If you don't like to party and drink, then you sit in your room and study, and that's a stress. That just causes more stress and more anxiety. If we had mentors or some kind of, I think this could fit in with the other things that I'm going to talk about later, but if people went in 2 weeks before the exam period and just said, all right, this is what's going to happen. You're about to go in the exam period. Campus is going to shut down. I'm going to have a little like tea break thing during exam period. You know, having them do something, and I think it could come out of student support, having like 5 or 6 students put on, you know, other events, game nights and tea parties and things that students that are relaxed students. I think the counseling center and the Center for Disability and the International Office would be good partnerships in doing that, because they could give students coping mechanisms. All right, if you're feeling stressed, walk away from your paper. You know, take a 20-minute nap and then start fresh. You know, a 20-minute nap can really energize it. Not more than 20 minutes, but you know, that'll help. So one-on-one mentoring.
I want to mentor him.
I don't even think they're real. They're too small. So one-on-one mentoring is pretty self-explanatory, you would think. You know, me and you, or me and you, you know, you mentor. I think where it could really flourish here is if you had a one-to-one mentoring and required some meetings. You know, you have to meet at the beginning of Welcome Week. You have to meet at the end of welcome week. You have to meet in the middle of the semester, and you have to meet before exams. Other than that, you can do e-mentoring, you can do informal things, but with the one-to-one, I would really say, we talked about the formal and informal. This formal piece of having mandatory meetings will make sure that every student is getting help. They may not even know that they need help. That's a big thing. That's the thing that goes wrong with it being organic. That's, I think, when I went to Sheffield, that's one of the things that I didn't like, that I thought that they could fix. They train the mentors and they tell the mentees, and sometimes the mentees don't use the mentors, and that's natural. Maybe they don't need help, but I guarantee if they still met and they talked about something, they would find something they needed help on, or something would click. You may not actively think about all the things you need help on. All right, and for Keele especially, I think that one-to-one mentoring only needs to be mandatory for like the first semester. Just have that mandatory meetings the first semester, and then let it kind of go into a natural flow of things. Group mentoring, same setup as one-to-one. I think each mentor is more than capable. If they're meeting with a group of people, they're more than capable of having 8 mentees. If it was me, and the thing about group mentoring that I think is really important in the U.S. is that it's a partnership. So it would be like me and Ian mentoring all of you. So that way, if you don't get along with me, you have Ian. If Ian's not available, you have me. And then me and Ian have each other to support each other on the workload or on, the issues, so that it's less supervision you have to do because the 2 mentors have each other. I think that, if it was 2 people mentoring, they should have maybe like a group of 15. Because, like I said, every student is not going to ask for help, and every student is not going to need that attention. So it may really be 2 people for 8. And the other thing, the great thing about group mentoring is if you do it as soon as they come in, those first years already have this clique of 15 people that they know. And if we split it up, if you work with accommodation and split it up by building or cross campus, it could really change the impact, and it could really help with cultural awareness. You put 2 international students in there, and then the rest UK students, it's going to change the dynamic. There's a lot of things you could do to play with that. Really quick. Academic sponsor. I got this from talking to Rebecca Lynch in the sociology department, criminology. Her program is really good, but it's just starting off, so it's a lot of supervision problems and things like that. So what I said is, like I said in the beginning, academics see all the students, whether they're troubled or not. So they would know students a lot. If we had academics recommend students to us, if they picked them up out of their school, if we were all in sociology, and I was like, I want you to mentor, and you to mentor, and you to mentor, please go see Ian Munton if you want to do it. Then it would be less work for student support service to recruit, and it would be better for us to train them, because oftentimes academics and lecturers don't have the time to train. They don't have the time to evaluate. So if it was up to us, I think that has the biggest potential here. And I think a good model of that is at Sheffield, at Manchester's PASS program. I think those 2 programs really show how it could work, because it's tailored different for each school. If I'm a medical student, you need to understand that I'm not going to have that much time to talk to you. You need to email me. If I'm a sociology student, you know that I might want to meet face-to-face more often. And so with this, you could have that.